Hey everybody, this is the intro and overview to the song How He Loves, written by John Mark McMillan, made very famous by him and David Crowder and Jesus Culture. The song's been played in churches for a really long time and it's one of our favorites. So we definitely wanted to make sure to do a tutorial for you on this. We're doing How He Loves in 6/8, that's the time signature. And it's at 152 beats per minute. So on your metronomes, you want to set it for 152. Again, I'll always state this in the overviews. We're going to always set the click track to whatever the right hand of the drummer is doing. So in this case, the drummer's hitting, And so we're always going to make sure that your right hand locks in with the click. And also, it's super helpful for the rest of the band to have eighth note clicks like that, because even if you're rock solid based off their monitor mix or their wedge mix or how good they can hear you if you're in a drum shield or whatever, it's good for them to be able to lock into that eighth note click in their ears or in their wedges or however you guys run your monitoring system. Just to make sure that they don't swim, even if you're rock solid. So I would always encourage you guys as drummers to set your metronome at an eighth note so that the band stays tight with you. The basic groove thesis on this song is keep it simple. That's the basics. We've started with the drum groove at the top for 2 full bars. That's largely inspired by John Mark McMillan's Live at the Night recording. On that starts with drums at the top. You'll notice ours does too. It's a basic groove. And that's a pretty simple groove. So in those, there might be dynamics, there might be some fills that happen earlier in the songs or even crash cymbals on the downbeat. You won't hear those in this tutorial. You're just gonna be playing this groove until the cows come home. Literally, for like 2.5 minutes, you are locked and loaded on one thing, one dynamic, and you're just the undercurrent. It's just straight. And the song just plays that out. And in section 2, you build into the chorus, which is that very first one. And in our version, kind of inspired by the Live at the Night version, we decided to pull everything except a drone string on a guitar, no bass, no keys, it's just the voices and the drums. And kind of like an old school rock and roll moment, you're playing a big tom snare flam thing. Now, just so that you know, a flam is where both sticks kind of don't come down at the same time, they come down slightly offset from each other. Like that, right? That's a flam. Very different than 2 sticks coming down at the same time. 2 sticks coming down at the same time is like 2 people jumping at the same time on a trampoline and both landing on the net and basically tearing each other's ACLs because there's no place for the momentum to go, right? So you always want to flam if you're bringing 2 sticks down on the snare, right? Like that. So this is the groove for that chorus. 1, 2, 3. Kick and toms together. See, so I'm flamming the snare, I'm hitting kick and toms and both hands and feet at the same time. Right, so that's gonna be your kind of mid-chorus, the first big chorus. It's all voices, drums, and just like one drone string on the guitar. And then we're gonna go to the end groove, which basically takes our verse groove and adds some more syncopation in the kick drum, but the hands pretty much stay the same. So it's basically just the second kick hit in this groove. Right? Dum, ka, dum, dum, ka, right? Now, I will say, if you find that that's a little bit tough, just with the, like 2 hits that are on the click and 2 hits that are off, you can simplify back to the verse groove if you want, but I would encourage you to keep on the ride cymbal just to raise the dynamic. We've gone from hi-hat in the verse over to ride cymbal in the chorus to lift that dynamic. I would also caution you not to crash the ride cymbal. You don't want to do this. be too violent and too much for the vocal. You can maybe do that if you want to really lift it, like it just feels like the room is juiced and you're going for it. You can do that maybe over the guitar line, but man, I'm telling you, it's just better to keep it classy and simple. Ride cymbal, bead that cymbal. Those are the basic ideas behind kind of elevating the dynamic. Those extra little touches that you do, a lot of times we think, we gotta hit harder, right? We're gonna hit harder or play louder in order to tell people that the dynamic needs to raise. But sometimes it's just adding an element of syncopation, an extra kick hit, or maybe just a stutter on the snare that kind of lets everybody know, hey, last chorus, we're going big here. So yeah, man, in the further videos in the series, we're gonna break down the individual parts and really grind on them and make sure you got those down. So let's go to those.